Big one for the Lakers tonight in downtown Los Angeles. Welcome back once again. I bring it up because it's the Denver Nuggets, a team that has struggled recently, losers of 3 straight. And Sunday is going to be a severe test. The Dallas Mavericks, with the best record in the NBA and a winner tonight, to raise their record to 27-7 as they beat San Antonio 90-85. And welcome back. Joel Myers along with Stu Lance in the starting 5 for George Karl's Denver Nuggets. Najera, Hodge, Camby, Diawara played his college ball at Pepperdine, and AI. 8th game in a Nugget uniform. And George Karl, last year's first full season after taking it over in late January of the year before and had that phenomenal finish. 12th winningest coach in NBA history. As George Karl has done a good job wherever he has been, especially that long run with the Seattle Supersonics. And for the Lakers, Brian Cook, what a phenomenal effort for Brian last night. Luke Walton, Andrew Bynum, Kobe, and Smush in the backcourt. And Phil Jackson told Brian Cook, keep your head up. You better stay positive because the Lakers are going to need you. And did it ever pay off? As psychologically stay in the game. And that's when Brian, you remember he was out of the rotation. He had the upper respiratory problem. He was banged up a little bit. And he had spent some time on the bench, Stu. It certainly paid off staying in the game.
Well, anytime you're not starting and you're not consistently in the rotation, you have to still be focused on what's at hand here. You watch from the bench. You make sure you're ready when the phone rings because you just never know when the coach is going to ring your number. You have to be ready to answer that call, and so far they have been.
You know, Phil Jackson told him he is going to get his chance, and that did develop for Brian Cook, coming off a season-high 26 last night with 18 in the first half. 3 officials tonight. And veteran Joe Forte is the lead with Derek Richardson and Eli Rowe. It'll be tossed up by Derek Richardson, Bynum, and Camby. 2 long ones. So the 19-year-old against the veteran. And Bynum gets it out as he controlled it. And now, as Derek Richardson looked over.
Well, a non-jumper has to touch the ball, I believe, before you can catch it as the one of the jumpers.
It'll go the other way. And they looked like they were a bit confused, but he, instead of grabbing it, should have tapped it over. It's early, very early in his career.
Well, I'm not going to say he was confused. I'm going to say the officials were confused.
That's what I'm alluding to.
Yeah, they were the ones that seemed to be a little bit hesitant about the call.
Lakers facing a team that they have had a great deal of success against. They took the season series from Denver last year, 2-1. 4th series win over the Nuggets in the last 5 years. And they've really dominated over here in Los Angeles. Taking 17 of the last 18 is Camby. Begins it with a long-range shot over Andrew Bynum.
And he shoots it like a set shot, so he can give you that little fake like he's going to shoot it. You raise up off of your defensive stance, and he goes around you.
Now Andrew Bynum had his way inside last night. Floats it over Camby. Yeah, nice start.
That's going to be where this game probably will be decided. Which team controls the post play.
Camby thought about it again. Setting up Hodge inside for the reverse. 4 days ago, Julius Hodge was in the D-League playing for Dakota. Just called up, as that was a nice assist by Camby. But they want to see if Hodge can help them with length in the backcourt. Kobe setting up Brian Cook, still hot. Yes! Brian Cook.
Well, there are players that are catch-and-shoot players, and Brian Cook fits that description to a T.
So the long deuce ties it at 4. Allen Iverson, as Smush will try to track him. They want Najera to shoot out there. Got to stay with Iverson. Blocked away. Bynum came over. Smush was there as well. The two combined. Now on the run. Smush on the finger roll. And the Lakers have their first lead of the game.
Well, this is going to be down game if the Denver Nuggets have anything to say about it, because they like to take as quick a shot as anybody in the league.
Allen Iverson, it stays up, and Camby, one of the very best on the board, 6th best in the NBA in rebounding, on the follow, ties it at 6. Well, Stu, 2 of the top scoring teams in the NBA. Denver, almost 107 a game, 3rd highest scoring. Lakers, 5th highest scoring team at better than 103, almost 104 a game. Smush got Iverson out of position. To the hole he goes. What an intelligent play that was.
Well, you talk about a flyby. He faked the three-pointer, and Allen almost jumped into the Laker bench.
So the Lakers 4 for 4. Camby Not exactly Jamal Wilkes the way he brings it back slingshot
Very
style.
similar, though. Very similar.
He does bring it back, though.
And the results aren't nearly as good.
Now Kobe leaving it for Andrew. And with authority, the two-hander. Lakers by 4 early.
But no one has accused the Denver Nuggets of playing defense yet, so they're going to stay true to form.
What a skip. Kobe on the bounce inside. Boy, Luke waiting, and it came up for him.
Well,
the top
only,
spin.
Yeah, Luke went down for that one. That's just a great pass by Kobe because it stayed nice and low, and Luke was able to read it for quite a time.
Lakers start the game 6 for 6, lead by 6. Nahara, long range, and the air ball. That's what I said before. They want him to shoot outside.
Well, that's just maybe a foot or so out of his range.
Kobe, two-man game. Instead, long range. How about a triple? Brian Cook with the 3. Lakers by 9. I think we saw this somewhere. Oh, last night, Sacramento.
Same type of a start as they had last night against the Sacramento Kings, and the crowd already on their feet. They're loving it. There's a lot of game left, and after last night, you know there's a lot of game left. The Lakers coming out with perfect shooting from the field. They got 7 baskets on 7 attempts, 6 assists, and all 6 of the assists belong to number 24, Kobe Bryant. Could he be off to a career night in the assist department? We'll have to wait and see. Well, the Lakers out of the gate in a hurry again, reminiscent of last night. 8:49 to play in the first quarter. The Lakers up 15-6, and that man, Kobe Bryant, has 6 assists. The team has 6 on 7 made baskets. The Lakers, well, they're pretty clean thus far.
You can score on Denver. They give up 104 a game. Diawara, and coming off a phenomenal game for them. Even though it was a loss, a career best, as Kobe weaves his way. And Andrew, what a great grab. The finger roll with 2 hands.
That's 7 assists for Kobe.
And how about the Lakers 8 for 8 with 10 unanswered, leading 17-6.
Well, when you consider they're getting most of theirs in the paint, makes it a lot easier.
Canby off the lip of the rim. Smush will get the board. So the Lakers doing a lot of things right early. We talked about everything they did in the first half, scoring 74 last night. Kobe, will it be a turnover? Can he save it? And it's going to be a jump ball as Diawara comes in. The rookie out of Pepperdine at 6'7", 225.
And Kobe's telling the official, how can that be a jump ball when he never did get control of his hands on the ball? But normally if they just dive on top of the pile, the officials will stop the play and say, let's jump it up. But Kobe with 7 assists so far, season high 11, career high 15. I'd say he's on pace.
Well, we saw an interesting jump ball last night. Kobe and Williamson late in the game. Now Kobe with Diawara as Nene comes in for the first time. 4 minutes gone by. Toss was a little left.
That's a tough thing for those officials to do, boy. They got to get that thing up there and still get out of the way.
Trying to pick it up at the offensive end. Iverson. And it'll go out of bounds to the Lakers. Good job boxing it out. Brian Cook making sure that Canby didn't get involved in the play. So they bring in some size, trying to match up with Nene.
Well, trying to match up Nene with Andrew Bynum. And Nene is a strong player, but Andrew really off to a nice start.
And what a start for Andrew Bynum. Kobe, another assist.
What a start for Kobe.
What a pass. His 8th assist on the 9 makes. Lakers haven't missed and they lead by 13. Okay, so much for slow starts after a late arrival last night in turbulence.
Yeah, don't want to hear about late arrivals.
Julius Hodge cleaned up by Bynum. He had 3 blocks last night. I think he's ready, and the early start didn't bother him.
These early starts. I mean, Andrew's 19. He doesn't know what people are talking about with all of these late games. He said, hey, I can play all day.
8 left on the shot clock. Diawara sees a little crease to the basket. And will it stay? No. Kobe will pull it down. So the Lakers continue on their roll, sharing it again. Smush on the reverse from Luke.
Oh, they cheated Kobe out of an assist.
If it was hockey, he'd get one. 15-point lead. And right now, it's a 15-0 run for the Lakers.
That's just great basketball in transition by the Lakers.
Diawara ends this run, and a long one at that for the Lakers.
You know who's getting ready to check in, though, for the Nuggets? Mr. Boykins. Earl Boykins will be in a minute, so the pace will quicken just a bit. That last break, Kobe to Luke to Smush to the basket. That's nice.
12-point lead. Smush all the way with 2 hands. Luke found him. The Lakers are 11 for 11. 10 assists on their 11 makes. A lot of stops down there. 23-9.
I said Denver was not known for their defense, but this is ridiculous.
Now Hodge trying to get inside. Finds Alario. He loses the handle. And it's going to be 3 in the game. Took a while.
When he caught the pass, his left foot was out of bounds. So really got a break there. But that last pass from Luke to Smush, and Smush says, I know how to finish. You don't go up cute. Go up with some... Ooh, actually, the ball slipped out of his hands, but he made it look pretty good, didn't he?
And by the way, the league's 4th leading scorer is not scored yet. Now he's got a bunch of assists.
Same thing happened last night.
You got it. Didn't score in the first. Cook. That for the Lakers. They're 11 of 12 now. On the run. Nene. A nice little spin move. Good footwork for a big guy to catch it on the move like that. So the Lakers still up by a dozen as Kobe is tripped up. You talked about Earl Boykins coming into the game. Hopefully Kobe's okay. Doesn't look like shin to shin there. You talked about Boykins coming in 5'5", 135 at his 9th year from Eastern Michigan. And
Kobe tried to avoid this collision as he catches the ball and immediately tries to change directions, but Iverson's right knee into the left leg of Kobe. And Kobe's walking gingerly right now, but he'll be able to hopefully walk that off. He's actually taking a 20-second timeout, so maybe it's a little bit more severe than we hoped it would be. So we'll have to wait and see what the medical report is when we come back. 6 minutes to go, and the Lakers up by a dozen.
He's 4 off the Laker record for assists in a quarter. Magic, of course. He owns that.
Who else?
John Lucas, the NBA mark. But what a brilliant beginning for the Lakers. 11 makes, 10 assists, 8 belonging to Kobe. Luke Walton, 5th in three-point percentage, even better now.
Again, 2 times down, the Nuggets go into a zone. They figure their man-to-man wasn't working, so they go to a zone, and now 50% success rate in that defense.
Well, 4 of the 5 starters have scored. The other guy who hasn't scored, he's got 8 assists. Plaza just came into the game. Will he get the roll? No. But Camby got the tip, and now they're going to wipe it off. It was the perimeter official who had the view, Eli Rowe. And it's going to be goaltending on Camby.
And that's the official. The outside guy is the one that makes that call. A lot of players always get upset with the official that's furthest under the basket. That's not his call.
The zone. Plenty of gaps in that zone. One off Andrew Bynum with plenty of time on the shot clock. Luke inside, and it was just behind Smush.
Might have overpassed over there. If he takes that shot, he probably is at the free throw line right now.
Yeah, unselfish to a fault. Earl Boykins. And the mismatch there as he'll try to get, well, he didn't. He gave it up early. Nene with the left hand. Nice drop step on Andrew. And a finger roll for Nene. He's got 4. Only played 3 minutes last season. Lost in the opener against the San Antonio Spurs with a torn ACL. They're not playing him a lot this year. Precautionary measures. Smush for 3. Red hot. It continues for the Lakers. 29 already with 4:38 left in the quarter.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
I mean, but they're getting shots, and there's really nobody even close to contest the shot. It's one thing to make it, obviously, but defensively, you've got to get a better effort.
Camby blocked by Bynum. Andrews got 2 already. He had 3 last night on the break. Brian Cook. And he tried to throw through a couple of legs here. Other way, Camby with the finish. And points on the turnover. As Marcus Camby has 6 early with 3 boards.
And you put players in a position that they're not comfortable in, and that time Brian Cook was put in a position of a playmaker, and he didn't make the play.
Luke Walton, long deuce, stays out. So the Lakers 13 of 15 for the field. Still up by 14 against the Denver Nuggets squad that has dropped 3 straight. They're 3 and 4 since Allen Iverson joined the team. Plaza on the fall away, and they can score. They can score in bunches, so they get back in a hurry. It's a 12-point lead for the Lakers.
Any team that just looks to score like that, no lead is safe enough. They're very reminiscent of Phoenix. I mean, you can get a 20-point lead, and it'll disappear in a heartbeat.
Kobe inside, outside will go. Luke Walton, a free look. Can't get the 3. And Nene quickly out. They've got a 2-on-1. Iverson over Brian Cook. And a good close by Brian Cook. So indicated the advantage, the 2-on-1. But two real small guys. Boykins and Iverson. Kobe trying to lose Kleza over his shoulder. He thought he had contact. That's why he flipped it into the air looking for a whistle. It's behind Iverson. He's still got it up, but they'll call the foul on Smush. So
Allen Iverson,
good grab.
He's a player that takes a lot of contact throughout his career, but he just keeps coming back. That's why everybody that knows Allen knows he's a guy that just comes to play each and every night.
On the Nuggets. Hey, everybody, I'm Patrick O'Neal. An incredible win last night for the Lakers at the Cow Palace. I mean, they blew a 21-point lead, and then they found themselves down 4, and that's when Radmanovic with a clutch 3. Then the Nuggets, they missed a pair of free throws to set up this. Kobe to smush Parker. They didn't foul him. They gave him the layup, and then in overtime, all Kobe Bryant. He goes over 40 points for the 6th time on the season, and the Lakers go 10 games over 500 for the first time since 2004. The unsung hero last night, though, had to be this guy right here. Brian Cook, a season-high 26 points. Talking to Phil Jackson before the game, he said he is not surprised by Cookie. They know he can shoot. They do not run any sets for him in this triangle offense. Look for him to get the ball when Kobe gets double-teamed or when Andrew Bynum gets crammed down low in the block, Joel.
All right, and the Lakers go into the bench early. And, Patrick, I got to give you credit because you have called the arena in Sacramento what we wanted to call it for years now. And I think Phil Jackson's had a major influence on you. The Cow Palace. We loved it up here, Patrick. So the Lakers coming off that emotional win last night as Iverson gets 1 of 2, and that's going to be a question. Allen Iverson coming over for Andre Miller. Joe Smith, 2 first-round picks as Radmanovic is in. Farmar. Bynum hot as Kobe stays with Smush. Smush got him out of position. And on the run, Smush almost got tapped. It stays down. So what a beginning.
You know,
Smush has 13 on 6 of 6.
Really didn't react very quickly to having his defender out of position. He almost waited till the defender, after jumping off the floor, came back to get into position.
How about Andrew Bynum changing the shot? Smush, well, first miss as Bynum tried to get back, held up by Kleza, but Bynum made Iverson miss that last shot. Kleza up against Radmanovic. Will get it back out. And it is Nene. And I'm ready to say Hilario, but he shortened it a couple of years ago to Nene. Which in Portuguese means baby. He is the youngest in his family.
It's a big baby.
Yeah. Radmanovic for a 3. It's off the front of the rim, short. Boy, well, Lakers wouldn't have gotten overtime last night without the big play, as Patrick was talking about that 3 with Radmanovic. Iverson by Farmar.
You look at the scoreboard. After all that quick start, still shooting 78% or so, or 70%, they're now only up by 9.
And don't play their pace. We talk about it frequently. Kobe's pass deflected away. Wanted to go to Bynum. Good idea. Iverson. The trailer is Kleza. And just like that, a 7-point ball game at 31-24. The run continues now for Sacramento. The Lakers 3 for their last 10 after hitting their first 11.
Well, and what that hitting your first 11 will do is make you think that you're going to make them all, and you take quick shots, and that plays right into the hands of the Denver Nuggets. They want you to take quick shots.
That was a great catch by Andrew in a difficult position underneath the hole. And a couple of free throws coming up for Reggie Evans, who just checked into the game with a minute to play in the opening 12.
And Reggie is a defender, rebounding type. Going to the free throw line isn't a venture that he likes on a consistent basis. So he'll get 2 free throws, see if he can cut into this Laker 7-point lead.
Yeah, last year only 53% at the stripe. He was a rebounding machine in his college career, his 2 years at Iowa, and the same when he was playing junior college ball. And that's exactly what he's done since coming into the league as Mo Evans checks in, along with Ronny Turiaf. Andrew Bynum's first break, and great activity for Andrew as Kobe's going to check out as well. Andrew, though, with 8 points, 2 boards, and those numbers don't tell the story with a couple of blocks. And how many shots did he change?
And Kobe goes out with 9 assists in 11 minutes.
So 1 of 2 for Evans. Lakers by 6. Final minute. The hottest hand, though, Smush. Farmar's got a big on him in the zone. Let's see what the Lakers do with the second unit out there. The dive, Smush all the way to the hole. Boy, right off the lip of the rim. Farmar read it, though. He's got Smush. Smush with the contact and a couple of free throws thanks to the intelligent heads-up play of Farmar.
Well, Farmar just reads things. He anticipates where the pass is going to go, and then he makes his move. I mean, he was on the move before this pass is thrown, and he's right there to pick it off. That's just great anticipation. He should get an assist on this, but he won't because Smush goes to the line to shoot two.
All right, now 7-0 spurt the wrong way as far as the Lakers are concerned. Smush with the finger roll last night, a big shot to force overtime with a tenth of a second to go. So he finished with 13. 14 already on 6 of 8. That's his first trip to the free throw line. In fact, the first trip to the stripe for the Lakers as a group. But still a lot of points on the board early for the Lakers. 33 after getting 74 in the first half last night. Now, we will talk about Iverson, and it's a deep draft this year. They gave up 2 first-round picks in the draft this season. As Iverson denied, Roney came over. Evans keeps it alive. It's going to be a 3 for Boykins, and the little guy gets it. It is down to 5. Earl Boykins gets on the board.
That's what they do. They just keep plugging away offensively, figuring that your offense is going to hit a dry spell. And before you know it, they're back in the game.
Lakers going to take their time, but there's still 5+ seconds separating the shot clock with the game clock. Now they have to pick it up against the zone. Farmar finding Radmanovic. He's got to go. He got it off in time, though. And Turioff will come back with it. Roney follows the second chance opportunity. The Lakers by 7. Now can they get a stop? They will. Iverson won't even try. Strong beginning offensively for the Lakers with 35 in the first on 62.5% shooting, and that guy facilitated it all.
Good quarter for the Lakers offensively, but they also gave up again 28 of their own. They are not a team that really can give up that many points on a consistent basis and hope to win consistently. They're going to have to pick up their defense from the second quarter on.
How you doing?
Good to see you, Mal.
Good to see you.
Oh, what's she doing? Was he eating a burger?
No, I'm a burger guy sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Meat chop with me, you know what I mean?
Oh, my God. Let's go down. What's with him, man? Want sushi? Want sushi? Thought you was your fluffy cheesesteak kind of guy.
This burger. Cheesesteak right there, you know what I'm saying? Pop bars, all day onion, cheese, huh? And a story.
Unbelievable.
Hello. All right, baby, the meat is always running.
Philly cheesesteak burgers. New at Carl's Jr.
With 16 different models, Toyota's got the car, truck, or SUV you want. With cash back, low APRs, and special leases, your Toyota dealer's got the deal you need. That's why we say, we make it easy.
Tonight on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. Do you have any idea what we have in store for you?
Ask me a real question.
It's Best Damn's Top 50 Say What? Sound bites of 2006. Tonight at 12:30.
Heisman winner Troy Smith leads the unstoppable Buckeyes. But the Gators are ready to shock the world. The Tostitos BCS National Championship, Monday, only on Fox.
If you haven't been watching Lakers basketball on FSN West, you've missed this.
I had to go to Kobe tonight to accomplish what we had to do and win.
He doesn't seem to be subject to the limits of normal human beings. It's the leadership of Kobe Bryant.
Kobe's going to be Kobe. The scoring's like breathing to him.
He's the best closer in the game.
Before the game, after the game. Catch Lakers live right here on FSN West. UCLA battles Oregon.
Lakers with the lead thanks to a great first quarter. 63% shooting from the field. 13 assists on 15 baskets. Kobe with 9 of the 13, and that man, Smush Parker. Yeah, you should smile. You came out of the gate again. 6 out of 8 from the field. Total of 15 points, leading the way for both clubs.
Well, we talk about with Lamar out, and Sasha has checked in for the first time tonight. Lamar out, and hopefully back in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. Somebody else is going to have to pick it up. It's the zone once again, and Smush did that. Ryan Cook did it last night. Smush earlier this evening. It'll be Sasha for 3. Way too strong. Van Kleza timed it perfectly. Lakers back in the transition. Those Farmar, difficult task for a guy who's a rookie. Boykins weaving his way into the paint on the finger roll. Little scoop.
You have to just, I don't care who you are, who you root for as a team, you have to root for Earl Boykins. I mean, he is just a fun guy to watch play and very deceptive player at his side.
Guy that wasn't drafted, started his career in the CBA. And we're going to get a defensive three on Marcus Camby.
Oh, I wonder who's going to the free throw line.
Sasha walks right there.
That's a good job, Sasha. Although you don't have much choice. I didn't think Roney or Radmanovich was going to head that way. They basically have three guards on the floor because I look at Maurice Evans basically as a two-guard, but he can play the small forward.
Sasha bangs it home. He was real strong on his first try. And you figured on the free throw it'd be a little long. Well, it was, but he made sure it stayed in. Lakers by 6. Opening minute of the second. You know, the schedule is not going to be kind. They're missing Carmelo Anthony for another 8 games. That's including tonight's matchup with the Lakers. Now, inside and deep into the shot clock. Mo Evans, small man off, but loses his balance. It'll be a long three, and Sasha will track down the Farmar miss.
Long shot, long rebound, especially against this zone.
Sasha almost throwing it away, but at least attacking the basket. Plenty holes in the zone. And now Roney inside a little bit too long as Camby comes away with it. It's after the red hot start. Lakers at 55%. Boykins. And it was deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Mo Evans. But they collapsed again on the dribble penetration. Good help defense.
Yeah, when you're watching AI and then Boykins dribbles into the paint, let your other bigs go ahead and shut him down. Stay with AI because Boykins was looking to come right back to Allen.
And out of the next 8, only one team with a losing record on the schedule for the Denver Nuggets. So can they maintain? They've been a good road team this year. They're 16-13 overall without Carmelo Anthony. That's his favorite spot straight away. And it doesn't come close. Who's going to go down to get it, though? Shot clock violation. Couldn't get it. That was Reggie Evans trying to gather it in.
You're talking about the Nuggets schedule for the next 8. You know, the Lakers got a schedule of their own, considering they're missing some key personnel with Lamar, Kwame Brown out of the lineup. Of course, we've talked about Chris Mihm being out for the entire season. But the Lakers have some work to do themselves. They've got to get through this one, and then the real work starts.
Yeah, Dallas on the road next week, followed up by Houston. Dallas on the road, I meant Memphis, followed up by Houston. Fast. Roney comes up short. Evans clears it out quickly. Iverson, no factor in that one time. Radmanovich's length got a piece of it. Sasha leaving it off for Farmar. Inside, outside. Sasha, again real long as Radmanovic tapped it to himself. Mid-range game. Mo Evans from Radmanovic.
And that's Maurice Evans' real strength there, the mid-range game. He's really good at getting himself within 15 feet or so.
Camby flat on that shot. And the Lakers, Roney comes away with it. The Lakers up and down with a team that loves to run. Farmar all the way to the hole. Beautiful scoop. And they've got a double-digit lead. So the second unit starting to collect itself.
Well, doing a little bit better on the defensive end as well, forcing the Nuggets to miss some shots and then getting some easy ones of their own.
Camby on the run. Man, it would be Farmar, but they collapsed again. 2 on the shooter.
Well, Camby is better at just catching it, stand still, shoot it.
Farmar, the distance, and he doesn't get the finger roll, but we've got a loose ball foul as Evans kept Roney away from the rim.
Too much so.
Yeah, he didn't have and he didn't have the position.
Evans holding on to Roney and picks up the foul as the Lakers will have possession when we come back. 8:54 to go in the half. Lakers up by 10, and Jordan Farmar saying, wow, I like these gaps.
Obviously, those two were the most important considering the points they scored, and they won't be back in the lineup for quite some time. J.R. Smith comes back on January the 10th, just a couple days from now, but Carmelo Anthony won't be back in the lineup until January the 22nd. The Nuggets got off to a great start, and they wanted to add Allen Iverson to Carmelo Anthony. The only problem is they haven't been on the court at the same time. By the way, Joel, as we send it back up to you and Stu, Carmelo and J.R. Smith both made the trip to L.A., even though it's a one-game trip. They were at shoot-around this morning, but NBA rules stipulate they cannot be in the arena 2 hours before the game, so they are not here at Staples Center tonight.
Enjoying the telecast as we speak, Michael, and they're 48 points combined. watching somewhere in L.A. is Allen Iverson. He gets the mid-range 15-footer.
Remember last year, I believe it was, in Philadelphia, Allen Iverson and Sasha got tangled up a little bit. Looked like they were going to have a sparring match. Allen must be in that fan club of Sasha's as well.
Yeah, but we saw the president in person last night, Mike Bibby. 8 on the shot clock. It'll be Farmar for 3. Whoa! He is hot. And I love the fact he attacked the basket on 2 consecutive possessions, because better than 50% of his shots so far this season have come from beyond the arc. And that time, Earl Boykins, you got to respect the dribble penetration. He got off the shot with a quick release.
But his dribble penetration, he's not going to attack the rim in a manner that your bigs have to be too concerned.
Farmar cracked. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. So we're seeing a little bit of everything from Jordan Farmar early tonight.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of everything from the Lakers tonight. They got out of the gate in a hurry. Then they had a little dry spell. Now trying to pick it up again with this second unit, as Jordan will go to the free throw line and shoot a pair on the foul.
If he can get to the basket, though, and he can get on the attack more often, he is also one of the best guys court awareness, and he's going to find his teammates. That means they're going to collapse on a guy like Farmar with the dribble penetration. So Farmar gets the first. Luke Walton back into the game for Sasha. Luke started 2 of 4. 5 points, 3 boards, 3 assists.
Well, when Allen Iverson went out of the game, the Lakers had to make a move, bringing a much bigger player into the game than Nuggets did.
So they brought Diawara back into the game. Same size as Luke, basically, 6'7", 225. Luke will start on Glazer, though. Kobe stays on the bench with the Lakers up by 14, and Farmar off the bench with 7 already. Bo Evans with Boykins, and Earl does it again. And he pulled up.
Very nice step back. Very nice step back. He dribbles in, gets some contact, and that contact will give you separation. And then you just step to the side. That gives you the separation as well, and take an uncontested shot.
The arrival of Allen Iverson has really picked up the game of Earl Boykins. Farmar, beautiful fake on the pass. Now Evans, it'll go across. Reggie Evans with the rebound off the Mo Evans miss. Mo Evans trapped, barely got it across. Barely got it across, and Mo's got the foul as Boykins got him out of position. So a couple of free throws coming up with the Lakers up by 12. This guy has been really effective since coming on the floor. Earl Boykins. He's 4 of 4. He's got 9, and he's going to the stripe for the first time.
He's a scorer. I mean, there's no question. You think of Earl, when you think and look at Earl, you think, well, he's a point guard. He's going to look to dish it off. He's a scorer. I mean, he may be small in stature, but he's a big-time scorer. And you don't want to send him to the free throw line. 88% in his career, happens to be shooting at 91% so far this year.
Well, he averages 14 a game last season. When he did better than that, they were 20 and 4. That's how much he means to the Denver Nuggets. When he hit 15 or better, they were a dominating team.
Use him as instant offense off the bench. You know, as soon as he comes in, you know one thing. You like to play at a fast pace to begin with, but when he comes in, the pace even quicker.
And he's averaging better than 20 a game, paired with Allen Iverson. Since Iverson arrived, Kenyon Martin, the microfracture surgery, he is out. And out for the year, we are told. It'd be a miracle if he did come back this season. A lot of money tied up on that bench. Last year, today, this year, Kenyon Martin. Rody, inside of 10 on the shot clock for the Lakers, leading by 10. And Mo Evans had to arch it. Rody again doing the work downstairs. Found by Diawara. Exceptional work by Rody.
I mean, that's called not standing and spectating. You watch the shot, you figure out the angle of where the ball may come off the rim, and you go to that area. And Rody did a good job of tracking that one down and picks up the foul in his favor.
Yeah, a guy that's hungry for minutes. And with the absence of Kwame and Lamar,
anybody on the bench should be hungry for minutes.
You got it, and step up.
Yeah, you play hard in practice, and when you get your chance in the game, you make sure you get the job done, and that's a way to get some minutes.
Inside-outside game, as they got it in early. Still, it was a full shot clock, so plenty of time for the Lakers. The time, and Rody with the one-hander over Reggie Evans. Little facial. Halfway through the second quarter, Lakers by 12.
Oh, does Rony have fun?
Boykins keeping him close, isn't he? Earl Boykins, 5 of 5. He's got 13 points. Luke sending it back out. Well, the Lakers doing what they want at the offensive end. Can they get enough stops? Roney, will they get the roll? No. And it's snatched by Plaza.
Yeah, they
almost gave it away.
They better double up Earl Boykins because he is torching them.
He's the only
right
one
now.
Yeah, he's the only one right now. As Boykins to the hole. Coming up short. Man, Roney keeps it away from Evans. Good job of a guy who's only in there to rebound Reggie Evans. Trailer is Turiaf.
Behind you, Reggie.
Farmar against a big guy, and a timeout coming up as he wanted to go up against Plays and get it inside.
Phil Jackson had been standing up for about a 30 to 45 second stretch there. You could tell he wanted a timeout, and finally he decided, let's have it. Ronny Turiaf, show me some hustle. Show me some facial. Oh, my goodness. Don't do that to him, Ronny.
Patrick O'Neal, we are back at Staples Center with the Lakers lead by 10. They've got the basketball. Steve, we were just talking about the schedule for the Lakers. It's Dallas on Sunday night at home, and that's going to be a tough one. Team with the best record in the NBA, 27-7. Then Memphis, Houston, back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday. The following week, it's really going to be tough. San Antonio, Dallas in a back-to-back as Kobe's back out there.
Starting lineup's back out there.
Yeah, and then finally Oklahoma City. Luke rattles it home. A triple, and the Lakers are up by 13. Lakers still shooting 54%. Now can they get enough stops? That's what it's going to boil down to.
Well, I tell you, their activity level has to be pretty good, as they should be calling an illegal screen here.
Moving pick over on that side. Nahara cleared out 2 Lakers, and finally it comes late, but it was there from veteran Joe Forte.
Nahara looking, shaking the head a little bit, talking about what was that? That was weak.
And then the extended journey at the end of January, last week of January for the Lakers, starts New York and Boston. So back east for 8 straight. Luke on the run, tried to get it to Andrew. It's deflected. And he's thinking, you know what, I should have lobbed it.
Anytime you have a big like that, their hands should be up anyhow. They're more apt to be jumping up than to be stooping down. So if you have the opportunity, yeah.
Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Lakers. Andrew Bynum in the middle of the zone. Kobe has yet to score.
But watch this shot.
And it's taken away. Allen Iverson steals it. Kobe wanted to recover. Well, Allen Iverson a little too quick to get there. 7 for Iverson.
Well, he's so quick, he takes away the angle.
Kobe leaves it off. Luke spotting up inside the arc. Man, Bynum inside, took it away from Diawara. Second chance again for the Lakers. On the move, sharing it well. Long 3. Smush makes no difference. A lot of touches in the half-court sets for the Lakers tonight. Smush has 18.
And there's a lot of three-point attempts going up, too.
Allen Iverson, uncontested. Got to get out on him. 12-point Laker lead. 4:05 to play in the half. Well, this is just carryover from the hot start for the Lakers last night. Smush again, all the way to the hole. Boy, is this easy?
I mean, the defense is really, really lax right now, especially by the Nuggets. Nuggets are playing porous defense.
Marcus Camby against Bynum, and the blocking foul on Andrew. A couple of free throws coming up for Camby.
Well, I thought that time
actually Brian Cook tried to get the block as Andrew tried to get up and impact this shot. So foul on Cook.
Cookie seemed like he was in good position, but they're ruling that he moved over a little bit. So it's going to be 2 free throws coming to Marcus Camby. Talked about Brian Cook being a guy, a big that'll step in and take the charge, but these days just about everybody steps in and takes the charge.
One thing about Marcus Camby, when he stays healthy, he has been an impact player. It's just keeping him on the floor, and last year he was solid. But again, he missed 28 games. He's had long stretches where he's been out. Recently, over the last couple of years, and 2 years ago, it was a contract year, he had a phenomenal season. He stayed on the floor. Last year, averaged 13 and 12.
Contract year?
Yeah, that's the buzzword. He gets the free throws. It's magic the way that works, isn't it? Now the Lakers, Luke on a run. And that time wanted to lob it. It was a little bit behind Andrew. 3-on-2, make it 4-on-2 the other way. And Kobe got the block.
And a late whistle. I'm talking very late. That's what upsets, I think, Kobe more than anything. Kobe's looking back at the official and saying, what happened? Did you swallow your whistle and run out of air to blow that thing? Kobe out of position. Does he hit him on the arm? Nothing but ball. Ooh, no wonder he's upset.
So Diawara who spent last season 20 games as Kobe gets his first foul. It's the Lakers' 13th foul. Diawara last year, 20 games playing in France. He's from Paris, the 24-year-old. Then 25 for Bologna in the Italian league. As Bynum gets another board, the quick outlet. Lakers on the run again. Kobe from Spush. That would have brought the house down. That would have brought the house down. Lakers by 11, but look out. Boykins the hot hand, and it continues. They're only down by 8. Three-pointer for Earl Boykins. He's got 16 already, and he is the reason they are right there. Earl Boykins averaging 14 a game so far. He's got a kindred spirit out there with him, though, doesn't he? And Allen Iverson. Now Smush. Andrew should be able to go back up. He will, and that's because Camby came over on Smush, and Andrew had it easy inside.
Look how fast they get it up the court, though. They are really looking to take the quick shot. And there's Earl Boykins again.
This time he got Smush out of position, and takes it easily inside the arc. Back to 8. Boykins with 18, so it's not Iverson that's hurting the Lakers. Luke on the run, protected it well.
That's called using your body. Did a great job again, and he's very good, maybe one of the best on the Laker team at using his body.
They move it around. Diawara with a triple, and Andrew Bynum with another board, 1 and done. So the Lakers by 10, a little more than 2 to play. Well, what about the pace of this race? You talked about Boykins coming into the game. It's like the Greyhound races. Here comes Lucky. The run on Bynum with a lot of time on the shot clock. Tough pass for Kobe, deflected out of bounds. It'll go the other way. Now is it Kobe shins?
In traffic. That's a tough one to control. 2:05 to go in the first half. Lakers have a double-digit lead, and I don't know if Phil Jackson's too happy. The Lakers have 62 on the board, though, Phil.
How you on? Good to see you, Mal. Good to see you.
Left in the half, we welcome you back to the Staples Center. Joel Myers along with Stu Lance, Patrick O'Neill, Michael Eaves, and the guys in the studio are going to join us. Billy McDonald, Jack Haley, Paul Westfall, the Jack in the Box halftime report. And we will, of course, join the guys at the end of the half. Adam Sandler, a regular here at Staples Center. And Toby Maguire. So if you like offense, it's your kind of night. And one of my all-time favorites. He always looks irritated, doesn't he? It's the little things that get to him. God, do we love Curb Your Enthusiasm? Larry David. What's the issue now?
The issue now is trying to stop the little things, and the little thing being Earl Boykins. He's got 18 in 16 minutes. He's only missed one shot. He's 7 out of 8 from the field.
So a 10-point lead for the Lakers. They had been up by as many as 16 when they led 29-13 early. Had a feeling it was going to be this way, though. 2 of the top 5 teams in scoring in the NBA as Boykins had it deflected away, but it still goes to Diawara. Now close on the opposite side. Boykins staying at home, though.
Smallest man on the floor.
Frustrating the crowd here. And over Brian Cook. Andrew Bynum keeping it away. Kobe, smart play, tipped it away from Iverson. Floor balance. Brian Cook, great look. Man, it goes out of the reach of Bynum for Camby. So the biggest guy on the floor, all the way to the hole, blows the layup and knocked away. It'll be last touch by Brian Cook.
Boy, Marcus Camby gets the rebound, pushes it all the way down the floor himself, gets a layup, and just couldn't convert it.
And by the way, the Clippers lost tonight on the road. 2-12 away from Staples Center. Backdoor Boykins had to bring it back out. They're moving around, fresh shot clock, Boykins. And it'll be picked up by Luke Walton. Luke on the run up against Nahara on the spin move all the way to the rack. It'll be cleaned up by Brian Cook. No. Bynum. And a foul. As it's going to be Brian Cook. So another, you talked about it earlier, another late whistle.
Well, Brian Cook so concerned about the defenders that time. He hit a head fake to nobody. When he got the missed shot by Luke Walton, all he has to do is lay it back in. But he did a head fake. The head fake didn't get rid of anybody because there wasn't anybody there.
So Bynum shooting for the Lakers. He was held on the rebound.
Bynum at the line because they called a foul on Marcus Camby, and it seemed like Marcus had a lot of basketball there.
So similar to Kobe at the opposite end.
A lot of ball.
So break for the Lakers. They're leading by 11 as Bynum got the first of 2. Andrew with a double-double last night. His first start since November 28th, and he looked ready. He was very aggressive, since the outset of that contest last night. It continues tonight, and close to a double-double already, as he's got 11 and 7, and he also has 3 blocks early. So the Lakers by 11. Another interesting beginning, like last night at Arco. Smush stays in front that time of Boykins. And it'll be Kobe grabbed from behind. A couple of free throws coming up. You can give it to a host. And it was Iverson who was trying to grab him from behind. And they will give it to Allen Iverson. That's his second.
Well, Earl Boykins with a rare mistake there as he tries to turn the corner a little bit and loses his balance, then loses the basketball, and that put the Lakers in the transition. And Kobe, he has a chance to score. He hasn't scratched yet. He had 9 assists in the first 11 minutes, and he's still sitting on 9 assists.
It's also his first trip to the free throw line as he is on the board. So the Lakers with 74 last night, 64 so far tonight in the first 24 minutes of play.
But he is probably the one player that can go a half, 3 quarters with 1 or 2 or 3 points, and then all of a sudden at the end of the game he's got 30.
Sasha back in. Now Boykins, the difference maker for the Nuggets. Otherwise, the Lakers are up by about 20 points. Boykins with it now. He's got 15 of his 18 here in the quarter. And Andrew Bynum took it away as Camby tried to float in and time it.
Shot clock and game clock separated by about a second or so. Lakers will try to work for as close to the last shot as they possibly can.
So the Lakers on the way to the locker room with a double-digit lead. Very impressive start offensively. Sasha setting up Luke for a triple. He's got it. That's the way Sasha closed out the half last night. Same corner. Diawara at the buzzer, and he banks it in. And that wasn't an accident either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he wanted to make sure it got there.
You think he wanted to bank that one?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He knocks it down and takes a little bit of the luster off the last 3-pointer by Luke, but still the Lakers go to the halftime with 68 points on the board. The bad side of it, they've given up 55 of their own, so they got to clean up their act on the defensive side of the ball.
That's got to be the difference in the second half for the Lakers, as positive as it was for the Lakers in the first 24 minutes of play. Go to the break, leading by 13 as we head to the guys in the studio now with the Jack in the Box halftime report.
Welcome back. I asked about Kobe taking only 2 shots. He said perhaps he could have been a little bit more aggressive, taking a handful of shots, but if they need him to shoot, don't worry, he'll be there in the second half, guys.
All right, Patrick. Well, you know Kobe's eventually going to get his. And even if he doesn't go for a big number, he's going to make other people around him look better. And that has been the MO lately for the Lakers, and it's definitely worked. Andrew Bynum after the miss. Kleza came up with it. So Kleza is starting the second half, and he did a good job off the bench for them. They go with the big guard, Hodge. He started the game 4 days ago in the D-League for Dakota. And Hodge with the basketball now. On the dive, Naharad lost the handle, but nobody went down to get it. Naharad couldn't come up with it. Second chance opportunity because of Hodge coming up with a loose ball. And Iverson will shoot 2. Fouled by Smush. Well, with Julius Hodge, and an interesting story, especially what happened to him. Unfortunately, he is okay. Let's head over to Michael Eaves. Michael?
Yeah, Joe, you know, after the tragic death of Darren Williams, a lot of people reminded themselves in Denver, especially what happened to Julius Hodge. And ironically enough, where Darren Williams was shot and killed was right in front of where Julius Hodge lives now in Denver. But what happened last April, he was driving on one of the interstates outside of Denver in his car, and all of a sudden a drive-by shooter comes by, 4 bullets into his leg, and one of those bullets nearly pierced a main artery in his leg, and doctors say if it had pierced that injury, he likely would have died from his injuries. But he's back. He's made his first NBA start tonight, and I've talked to him before the game. He said he's just happy to, A, to be alive, but also, B, it gave him a greater appreciation of playing a game that he's played since he was a child.
Kobe. And Kobe elevates, says, thank you, Michael. And it is a nice ending for Julius Hodge. The appreciation he has for everything. We heard about that during the pregame show. Bynum, his 4th block of the game, cleaning it up inside.
Well, you talked about your last line of defense. And you talk about your porous, porous defense.
An easy one. Luke can't believe it either, but he'll take the assist, his 6th. With 5 boards and 13 points. And the Lakers are up now by the largest lead again at 16. The foul on Smush is
about,
third.
I talked about your last line of defense, and as Allen Iverson gets close to the rim, I mean, he blocks that with his forearm, close to his elbow. He got so much of it.
So Bynum, 4 blocks already. We got a lot of basketball left. Now, can the Lakers continue to play solid D? It'll be a hold on Brian Cook with a shove on the floor. So too many fouls too early for the Lakers. Already 3 team fouls.
I would have liked to have known what Phil Jackson said to the team at halftime. And again, you have to play defense, but you have to do it without fouling so much.
Yeah, only 102 free throws last night as Iverson gets it right around the free throw line. He's got a dozen. Comes in averaging 30 a game. What's going to be interesting is when Anthony comes back. Can they maintain what they've been doing? Anthony averaging better than 30 a game, just like Iverson. Kobe lining it up, but it's long, and Bynum after it, but Klaiza came away with it. Klaiza left Missouri after his sophomore season, a strong kid. As Iverson gave up the dribble trying to get it inside. 2 minutes gone by in the third. Marcus Camby got Bynum out of position. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. So now the Lakers out of fouls already. This is very reminiscent of the second quarter last night when the Lakers were out of fouls. 2 minutes and 28 seconds in the second.
Well, that's what I was just talking about, playing defense without fouling. And 9:54 to go here in the third, and the Lakers are out of fouls. So it could be a free throw contest here. Well, not a free throw contest, but a free throw fest for the Denver Nuggets if they continue to attack the rim and the Lakers continue to foul.
So the free throw goes down. The reasons, too, I brought up, the two averaging better than 30 a game, and can they coexist and also maintain that high level? There's only one other time in NBA history if two teammates ever managed to average at least 30 points a game an entire year.
I bet I know who.
Yeah, you got
Jerry West, Elgin Baylor.
38.3 for Elgin. Jerry had 31 a game for the 61-62 Lakers, their second season here in Los Angeles. Were Laker fans ever spoiled early? So the Lakers by a dozen. That's 4 straight now. As Bynum works against a smaller man. Brian Cook says it doesn't make any difference. Just hand it off. Cookie with 9. So the Lakers now close to putting almost all of their starters in double figures. Kobe will get there. Cook's got 9. The other 3 in double figures already. That's Smush, Bynum, and Luke Walton. Klaiza hit by Kobe on the way by. And he's kind of upset with himself on that play. Second on Kobe.
I don't think he's upset with himself as much as he's upset with the officials. He feels that was a bad call. You can tell by Kobe's reaction to certain plays when he's upset at the officiating. And he felt that he got all ball. Contact with the body, though, is what sold the officials on the foul.
Yeah, impeding someone's progress. So Klaiza gets the first of 2. 6'8", 245-pounder, a 22-year-old from Lithuania who had a real productive summer. He played, in fact, for Lithuania in the World Championships. Averaged 10 and 5 a game for them. So a great experience for somebody that young. Almost 3 minutes gone by. Lakers by a dozen. It'll be Brian Cook. Quick catch and shoot. A long rebound. Kobe will track it down. Good bounce entry. Andrew Bynum, he's going to the free throw line to shoot 2. But a great play by Kobe on the bounce with 2 on him.
I mean, he never panics, and that's what the good players, the great players do. They get themselves in a position, and there's never any panic. Other players can get in that same position, and they really get ahead of themselves. They either have to take quick timeout or try to do something that they're not capable of doing.
Well, so often you see that quick timeout, and the coaching staff jumps up like, why?
Yeah, I mean, why? We don't want you over here. Stay out on the floor. We've talked to you enough.
Another solid one for Andrew Bynum, and it's only going to get better. He's got 13 points and 8 boards, 4 blocks. He's looking like he did early in the season when he got a lot of minutes, and he started the first 14 games of the year.
Well, players relax when they know they're going to get a lot of minutes, and with the injury to Kwame, Allen feels that he's going to get a lot of, Andrew feels that he's going to get a lot of minutes.
It was Allen on the miss, though. Iverson.
Floating, too. I mean, you talk about fading on your shot. He's going to his left, and he just kept going.
Andrew Bynum up against Camby, sharing it well. A lot of space for Smush. Takes advantage of it. What a night for Smush. 23 points. Lakers now with their biggest lead of the game. 17 at 79 to 62 and 8.5 to play in the third. Camby He wanted Bynum to come out. Andrew didn't go up and bite.
That's what happened. Then it was a break rhythm shot, and he shot it long.
Deep three. Off the front of the rim. Short for Kobe. And Camby on the push with Hodge. They don't have numbers. Camby had to get rid of it. Otherwise, it was going to be a charge. Brian Cook got back in time.
A nice soft touch by Marcus Camby, and that enabled him to get the bounce.
He's got a dozen with 9 boards. Kobe rubbed on the baseline by Hodge. That's the second team foul, the first on Julius Hodge.
You know, normally bigs get put in this position, as our Carl's Jr. Exmo shows, have the ability to change direction. That was a nice job by Marcus Camby, because when he caught the ball and looked, there was Brian Cook. If he continues in a straight line, that would have been an offensive foul.
Lakers keep it in the offensive end. What a pass by Luke! Quick touch from Brian Cook and Andrew Bynum, the benefactor.
Well, again, Luke just roaming the baseline. I mean, that defense that the Nuggets are putting out there is needs to go back to the drawing board.
Well, 26 on 31 is an incredible ratio for the Lakers. That is just the ultimate team basketball. Boykins leaving it off for Nahara on the reverse. Lakers bigs changed that a little bit, didn't they?
And that's what you want. You want them to change their shot, because most of the time it's going to be a miss.
Luke's got Iverson and Kobe. Does he give it away? No. It'll be batted out of bounds. He wanted to go on the backdoor lob, even though Iverson was on the back of Luke on the near side.
Well, he's trying to get it to Smush, too. I mean, Smush,
yeah, that was the backdoor lob.
Yeah. Smush was the guy he was trying to get it to, and then he told Smush that was my bad. I threw a pass that wasn't on the mark.
Plenty of time on the inbounds for the Lakers. Kobe weaving his way off the pick. And Brian Cook faking the shot. Now Kobe held up, and Hodge draws the contact. Couple of free throws coming up for Kobe.
Well, Hodge hasn't learned about when Kobe keeps the ball low like that, he wants you to reach in with your hands so that he can come through your hands and get the foul. That last basket you talked about from Luke to Andrew, while in the air, Luke knew that the defender had come to him, left Andrew, easy play.
Kobe short on the first of 2. Kobe 1 of 5 from the field, 4 points, 4 boards, 9 assists though. And he had 9 early. Luke vying for that now with 7 assists as well.
Well, the most important thing though is Kobe got the team out in a hurry with his assist making. So they've got themselves a nice cushion. They're up by 18 now.
And going into the Sacramento game, we talked about it last night. Kobe said he didn't want to have to score 93 points every 2 games. And that's what he had over the previous 2. He wanted balance, and the Lakers are finding that now. They had it last night in Sacramento. Kobe came through at the stretch, but he got everybody involved. It's going to be a reach. Brian Cook, he loved the call too. But fortunately, they're not responding like they did earlier in the year, where they slapped technicals on everybody if you didn't like the call.
Well, you know, there's a lot of times when you make call or you get a call against you, and it's a good call.
That is a good call.
Yeah, I mean, players complain just about on every call. That's why it's so important if you want to get in good graces with the officials. And this generation of players could care less about that, I guess. Yeah, but it's important not to complain on every single whistle. Wait until you have a legitimate gripe, and then the official might look at you and say, you know what? He's complaining. I might have missed that one. But when you complain all the time, man, they just turn a deaf ear to you.
Right, and then it's not legitimate when you do complain, as you mentioned. And that was a good call by Joe Forte. He grabbed Julius Hodge.
Oh, he hit him right on the arm.
Yeah, and just grabbed it. Didn't get the ball. So the Lakers still by 16, 82-66, as Andrew went down to make sure. The Lakers keep it in the offensive end. Kobe, corner 3, yes! Lakers by 19. Julius Hodge looking inside. Nothing available there. Camby, it's deflected. Still, Nahara won't get the roll. Bynum's got the board. His 9th, close to a double-double. On cruise control, Kobe, a long 3, real short. And it's picked out in the air by Iverson. Boykins. And Earl still on. He had 15 in the second quarter, 18 going in the locker room, 21 for the game. His first points here in the second half.
And won't be his last. That young man is special.
Yeah, they want to keep this pace. Luke up against Iverson. It's cleaned up, and it's going to be on the glass first. He got it on the glass early against Camby. Another smart play by Luke.
When you know you've got a shot blocker back there, you get it up on the glass, and whether it's going in or not, you can't touch it. Marcus Camby a little upset, but the official had a pretty good view of that one.
I mentioned Denver, only 3 games over 500 with 3 straight losses, but they've been a good road team, a much better road team than the home team. 7-6 on the road, 10-7 at home. Now can they persevere with the absence of a couple of starters? And now Rock got it inside for the easy one. Timeout as Phil Jackson was unhappy again at the defensive end. That's why we've seen the timeouts tonight.
Well, and that's good timeouts, and that's the reason for it is Lamar Odom looks on from the bench, and I mean, he is clean in those. Look at that suit. But I'd rather see him in a Laker uniform and see him in that suit after the game.
Welcome back. The Lakers, a pretty sizable lead over the Nuggets right here in the third quarter. Patrick O'Neal, and my pleasure to talk to Lamar Odom right now at LO. First off, happy New Year. This is your 12th game you've been out. I know it must be driving you crazy. Where's the knee stand right now?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back out here and helping these guys win some games, but they're playing well right now. I'm grateful for that, and hopefully I'll be back in about maybe 10 to 15 more days. I hope so. I hope so, but it's a slow process, and I have to take my time.
Well, now you're out, Kwame's out, and Kobe's not even scoring. He's picking it up a little bit. You got to be proud of the way the guys are playing right now.
Everybody's comfortable right now within the offense and finding their spots. Everyone understands their role, and we're on a roll.
Yeah, and once you get back, once Kwame gets back, you guys are going to be a beast.
Yeah, of course. We knew coming into the year that we added depth to our team, and once we get guys in, and Jordan's playing well, Vlad is staying focused, and he's going to have a great season. Once we get everybody involved, we're going to be a great team.
Now, right here, you have Andrew Bynum back-to-back. You got to be proud of the way the youngster's stepping up.
Yeah, I mean, he's been focused since the beginning of the year. We knew we were going to have a big year for him. He works hard, and it's paying off.
As far as yourself, Lamar, it has to be frustrating. Imagine you're playing some of your best basketball. You go down. How are you dealing with that?
It happens. That's one of the consequences and repercussions of being an athlete. It's injury. You just try to keep your body conditioned where you stay away from it. Hopefully, I can come back and make a push for that All-Star team.
Well, you know what? Injury or not, you look sharp, man. I like the outfit.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Joel, back to you.
All right, some entertaining passing inside while we were away, and that's great news. Lamar Odom, maybe 10 to 15, and you talked to him. I saw him downstairs, talked to him as well, and you could just tell with his demeanor that he's feeling better about where he's at in rehabilitation. He was really frustrated, Stu, over the first few days.
Well, you're always frustrated because you want to be out there with your team. Nobody likes to be injured, obviously. But when your team is out there, you want to be out there with them, contributing as you have. So it's as he said, it's a slow process. As Andrew Bynum gets a rest here, Roney comes in for him. Roney, did you see that last pass Andrew threw?
Yes.
That was nice.
Yes.
That was really nice.
Very
That's why Cook is at the free throw line. But back to Lamar, it's a slow process. You can't come back too soon because then you're back for a game or two, then you're back out again. You want to make sure when you come back, you're back.
And it's the medial collateral. It is a serious situation. It's not like an ankle where maybe 4 or 5 games. So you don't want to test it about coming back early. Brian Cook off the Nene miss. Andrew Bynum goes to the bench, by the way, folks. 17 and 10. 6 blocks. He's been so efficient tonight. Luke didn't bring it down. Roney will clean it up and bring it back out. Boy, what team basketball. And Cookie collects the 3. Lakers by 21.
Wow, that's just good effort that time. Real good effort on the missed shot, then the second opportunity.
Kobe will come up with a miss inside. So Kobe right now with 9 assists, 5 boards, 8 points. The Lakers with their biggest lead of the game. Cook with Iverson on his back. Little step back. Brian Cook.
Well, there's the 10th assist for Kobe.
Kobe's in double figures in assists with 10, as you mentioned. Brian Cook, 16 points after 26 last night. Career best for Kobe in assists, 15. Season high, 11. A lot of good things happening for the Lakers right now. Julius Hodge, interesting release. And he's out of bounds on the baseline.
How very kind you are.
Interesting.
Interesting release.
We talked about it before the game, before we ever came on the air.
That is ugly.
Yeah,
That's not interesting.
It's different. The flying elbow.
Man. Happy to see the young man back and healthy and playing basketball and, enjoying life. But that shot, wow.
And he was a third all-time leading scorer at North Carolina State as it's given away by Roney. He thought Smush was going to come. Now, Nene on the finish with the one-hander. So points off a turnover. Not many mistakes for the Lakers, though, so far in the second half. They've already got 96 on the board with 3 minutes to play.
Yeah. 3 minutes to play in the third.
I think they know that.
No, when you say 96, that's game. They only average, what, 104?
Yeah. Luke set up by his buddy. And he'll give Brian Cook an assist.
Make it 99.
18 for Luke Walton with 8 assists and 5 boards. Well, Denver likes to push it, and they found a willing participant tonight in the Lakers. It's batted out of bounds. Luke rotated over. Good weak side help.
Luke dropped to the level of the ball. Very smart play as he gets a hand on it. Marcus Camby trying to make the pass. Trying to copy the Lakers in making the passes. The Lakers have really been getting the job done in the assist department. And Luke, boy, looking good on the offensive end.
Welcome back to downtown LA. Good night for the Lakers, leading by 24. 2.5 to play, so you catch a team at the right time. And the Lakers is a totally different team. I've been on talk shows. You've talked to a lot of people. They've turned over this roster in 4 short years and a much deeper team. So even though Lamar's not there, Kwame's not there, they can afford, as Iverson is held up trying to pop out, they can afford the loss of 2 starters. Obviously a lot more than the Denver Nuggets can afford the loss of J.R. Smith and Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, I can understand you saying that, but at the same time, they took out their 2 top scorers.
Well, one of 2.
Well, I mean,
Iverson,
after Allen.
right.
Yeah, but Allen just got here. But if you take Kobe and Lamar off the court, then you'd really try to have a test to see how deep this Laker team was.
Allen Iverson held up. Following Kobe, well, you can win a pair of tickets to a Lakers home game courtesy of Verizon Wireless for your chance to win. Just text Lakers to 95615 at the end of tonight's game. You're entered. That's all you do is text 95615. 1 winner per game. Sweepstakes open to residents of L.A., Ventura, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Orange counties 18 and over. Text Lakers 95615 for alternate entry and rules. Just go to Lakers.com. The Lakers by 22. Smushed close to a career high as Kobe. That was an afterthought. Roney on the follow. And actually looked like Kobe wanted to pass originally.
He ended up taking the shot, but Roney does a good job of moving his feet to get in position to make that rebound, and did a great job of using his left hand to score.
He's got 6 and 5. Kobe denying that side to Iverson. It'll be Nene real short. And Kobe kept it away from Iverson. The break, Roney with Kobe behind him. And the foul with Roney going to the free throw line.
Well, that's just, look at Roney. First one down the floor, gets himself a reward of 2 more free throws, but he hustles every second that he's on the floor. More energy than you can imagine. As Kobe off of 1 foot, doesn't get the shot to fall, but look at Roney with the left. Nice job, very nice job. And who's the first one down on defense? Roney. He doesn't pose, get all cool as he scores. He's running back down the floor, ready to play some D.
Well, and especially in the West, when you face teams like Dallas and more than anybody, Phoenix, after a make, they try to burn you twice as much. So you better get back. You bring up a good point.
But players they get in the habit early in their careers. After a score, there's that 2-second delay where they just pose a little bit. And
I'm proud of myself.
You got to get proud of yourself when you get into the locker room. You're sitting down, and then you can get proud of yourself. But when there's time on the clock and you're on the floor, leave your cool in the locker room.
Roney's got 7 now as Radmanovic checks into the game. Roney stays out there. Mo Evans also in there, matching up with Theo Warren at the defensive end. So the Lakers out of the locker room doing a much better job defensively. It's not perfect, but it is better, and it's thrown away. It'll be over and back, and the Lakers will have it on the turnover by Denver.
Well, Earl got himself in a position. He was directly under the basket, surrounded by players, and tried to pitch it out. Pitched it out all right, and it just kept going.
It's going to be tough for them if this continues to catch Utah. There are 4 games in the loss column back right now as it's taken away by Nene. Roney trying to get back into the play. Good hustle again, even though Nene got it. He doesn't quit on any play.
You will never, ever be able to accuse Roney lack of hustle.
So a solid play at the defensive end by Nene, but there was no quitting Roney. Now let's keep Roney healthy. Kobe setting up Radmanovic. And Mo Evans It was deflected, I think, by Nene. Roney stays with it again. And a loose ball foul. Roney just won't quit.
And
what about the heart of this kid?
The crowd really appreciate it. Listen to this. They are giving him a standing ovation in parts of this arena for his effort. That's just constant effort. Maurice Evans with the miss, Roney on the move. One jump. Takes it up, misses it, goes right back again. He gets it, gets fouled. Back to the charity stripe.
Foul on Diawara. And that's fatigue. That free throw. He's mad at himself.
Yeah, that one never got to the rim at all.
Sasha checks in. Kobe checks out. The only starter who's not in double figures yet. Look at the smile on those guys. It's a shame they're not having any fun together. Well, what a healthy situation when you work that hard in practice and then you get everybody on the floor during a game. Diawara, and he's blocked by Roney right on top of the basketball. Boy, is this guy following up on what we've been talking about. Diawara, an ugly one. Roney wasn't ready for the air ball. It'll be saved by Nene. Shot clock not reset. Nene with the left hand. And Roney kept it away, and it'll be a jump ball. Roney, what a work rate, kid. They love it at Staples Center. I tell you, everybody loves it.
Everybody who works for a living, they appreciate hard work. And right now, Roney is showing real hard work. So the crowd, they're giving him their appreciation.
Well, you brought it up. He doesn't care about styling. He just wants to stay on the floor. So he's going to earn more minutes with this kind of work. Now with Nene.
And Fisher trying to find a spot between the two arms to throw the ball up.
Controlled by Nene.
Did he travel?
And a foul on Mo Evans. Lakers out of fouls too. So a couple of free throws coming to Brown and Iverson, but back to what he's done at both ends, and especially defensively.
Well, you know, we've seen Roney do this a few times this year where he's going up to block and he just follows the flight of the ball, keeps his eye on it. As they tried to move it around him, he's there with the left hand to get the block. That's just a nice defensive play.
So Allen Iverson, second in the league in scoring coming in, and third all-time in career scoring at 28 points a game. A future Hall of Famer gets the first of two. Anthony leads the league in scoring. Now, what's it going to be, and can they exist together? How's it going to be chemistry-wise? And also J.R. Smith. He has had a breakthrough season. Is he going to get what he wants when he comes back?
Well, I think the two that are going to be the catalyst for that team scoring-wise, obviously, are going to be AI and Anthony. J.R. Smith is going to have to really take the third seat.
By the way, it's a 21-point third-quarter lead. Sorry I brought it up. Final shot time for the Lakers with the shot clock coming down. Smush looking for a new career high. Instead, Roney will get it up in time. Yes, Mo Evans on the extra assist and the pass. How about the Lakers with 32 assists? Smush at the buzzer. It won't be close, but that typifies the Laker effort in the third out of the locker room.
That's just great work. And look at the Laker bench coming out to meet the players that are on the floor, and that's what you really like to see. That type of camaraderie where you're cheering for the people that are on your team. Roney, yeah, he cheers for everybody. And Maurice Evans, he does as well. The Lakers, up big. Well, the Lakers got out of the gate in a hurry in this ball game. First quarter out of the gate, it was Kobe not being a scorer, but being a facilitator. Picked up 9 assists. The scoring department, well, that was put in Smush Parker's hands as he got off to the quick start. But then in the second quarter, the two smalls from Denver, Allen Iverson and Earl Boykins, tried to make a comeback. But the third quarter belonged to the Lakers and their team basketball, sharing the wealth, moving it around, making the extra pass, getting the results that they want. And the result that they want is on the scoreboard. 104-81, 104 points for the Lakers with 12 minutes to play. They've got 32 assists on 39 baskets. That's moving the ball around.
Well, Utah already lost tonight as Nene gets it inside, back outside. Anybody want to leave the paint? Reggie Evans staying at home. Anybody? They just set up. I just wanted to know.
Both Reggie and Nene anticipated AI taking the shot. And when they're in good position, and when Biggs get in good position for rebounds, they are not giving it up.
Now, the Lakers high for assists this year, 36 against Washington. They've got 32 so far this evening. Sasha, Mo Evans, Jordan Farmar, along with Roni Turioff and Vladimir Radmanovic out there. 10 on the shot clock. Radmanovic over Reggie Evans, and it's snatched by Reggie Evans. Let's see what the second unit does at the outset, and can they maintain this advantage for the Lakers?
Well, one way they can do it is to make sure they track Earl Boykins and Allen Iverson.
Oh! And Nene probably couldn't believe he had that easy a shot. He blew the layup. Roni took a shot. He's at the opposite end. I think he took a shot to the chops. The runoff, Radmanovic.
Well, they have milkshake.
Long two, stayed out. Evans gets the board. And I brought up the Utah loss because if the Lakers do hang on and win tonight with 11 losses, they're only a game back in the loss column for the number 4 seed. Sasha with Mo Evans, and Mo elevating. He'll go to the line and give it a 3-point play. That kind of night.
That kind of night is right. Sasha with the bounce pass, and I'll tell you something, Maurice Evans can explode. Well, I mean, he can just bounce off the floor and get there in a hurry, and he gets the 3-point opportunity on the foul.
So the Lakers trying to go 11 over 500 at 22-11. I mentioned the Clippers lost. I think I said 2-12, but they're 3-12 on the road. Don't want to cheat them out of a win on the road. 15-18 overall, so they'll be 7 behind the Lakers in the loss column already. Boykins stays out there with Iverson. Boykins kept him in the game in the second quarter. Very quiet in the second half. Iverson, a straightaway 3. Man, hard off the heel to Nene.
Comes to the middle. He's setting you up. He sells it pretty well going to the middle.
Man, gets a little baseline jumper. Now they're taking him and bringing him along slowly after the torn ACL last year. When you look at his minutes and the amount of games he's been in, they are not rushing him back. There's a huge investment in this young man. Signed a big contract before last year. Sasha, tough shot. Off balance.
Off balance?
That was an understatement.
Wow.
Now, Diawara. And another layup gets away. Radmanovic tapped it away over to Mo. Evans out to Farmar. So the Lakers, all they have to do is avoid the turnovers that we saw in the second half last night, and they will be 11 games over the 500 mark. Radmanovic for 3. Oh, he had a huge one in the corner last night. Lottie gets one there. So the Lakers lead now. I don't think it gets away. I think it's over. 27.
Oh, wow. You're putting the game away, and there's 9+ to play?
Well, you saw some of the shots out there. Iverson on the run. Nene. And, well, it wasn't Brent Berry in the corner of the playoffs last year, but a nice kick off the window. Inside a 9. A 25-point Laker lead. Roni looking at Farmar. Now got Nene out of position with the left hand. He got the contact. Couple of free throws coming up. Nice roll to the hoop.
Well, the first thing he did that was so good was when he caught the ball, he faced up without committing a dribble. That puts him in such an advantaged position that deep on the floor. And then he took advantage of it by getting into the paint for the shot. And Lakers off and running, and Maurice Evans finishing as well.
You know, to hear people say, you know, you've gotten out of the shadow of your dad, that's still nice to hear.
Last couple of nights for the Lakers, he's looked like his dad. A real complete player. Luke with 18 and 8 assists tonight to go along with 5 boards. And, well, that's the ultimate compliment when you compare anybody to Bill Walton, and Luke would agree with that. So, Luke on the bench, like Kobe, and, well, all of the starters on the bench right now. And hopefully they're going to stay there for the final 8:44. And still a real complete second half for the Lakers. Across the board, the way they shared the basketball, and everybody got involved.
And that's vital. I mean, I really think that's vital, because when everybody's involved, everybody seems to have a more of a pep in their step. You know, 4 of the Lakers starters in double figures, and the guy that's not is the 4th leading scorer in the NBA, Kobe Bryant. So I really think it's important for this team to continue to play and play with the kind of passion they've played with tonight.
And this is the way you want to go into a game with the team with the best record in the NBA on Sunday night. Dallas Mavericks at 27-7 after a 5-point win tonight on the road. They beat San Antonio again. Sasha gambling. Diawara inside. And it's taken away. And Evans out of bounds. Right. He couldn't get rid of it fast enough. He put the foot went down too soon.
Good effort, though, by Reggie. And that's one thing he does. I mean, he's another one of those workaholics. He just keeps working when he's on the floor.
San Antonio, by the way, even in the loss column with the Lakers, they're now 23-11. So the Lakers are half a game behind San Antonio in the West. If they win tonight, they will. They'll be 22-11. 8+ left. Radmanovic. And Sasha tried to bat it away from Kleza. It's not good minutes for the guys that work so hard during the practice week. As they get the opportunity. Boykins on a lean. And everything he threw up went down. Not the story of the second half. Sasha looking ahead. Watch out, Boykins is in the neighborhood. Evans contagious, though. We talked about the touches. And the Lakers aren't settling in the second half at all. They've gotten a lot of baskets inside because of the extra pass. Outside this time, though. And Sasha gets the long deuce. So 113 on the board for the Lakers. Still 7.5 to play.
Yeah, that's the bad part about it. There's still 7.5 to play.
Diawara coming off a career best on Tuesday night in their loss at home. That's what's hurt them lately. They lost to 11-17 New Orleans. As Jordan Farmer is rewarded, Radmanovic got it right back to him.
That's just heads-up basketball. I mean, pass and cut. I mean, you don't draw that up any simpler than that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. And they lost as well as Kleza charged his way into the paint. But they also lost to 8-22 Philadelphia with the 76ers left here. So losing to teams that are right now well below the 500 mark, as there's a Shaman sighting, one of our favorites, Shaman Williams into the game.
And this is a game where everybody that's eligible to play should play. As Shaman makes his first appearance, he's only played in 2 games.
Consummate pro. Out there working hard. We've talked about it before.
Well, he came into the year obviously with that abdominal strain, and that's something that really is something you have to be careful with.
Radmanovic stayed with play after the miss, and because of it, it's out of bounds off Nahara. And back to Shaman Williams. He's talking about a guy that's dedicated to just trying to get there and whatever it takes. You've seen injuries to some of the big guys. I had lunch with Shaman in Sacramento, and just a complete pro. He wants it, whether it comes now or at the end of the season. He's not going to force the issue. Sasha had it batted away. It'll be Lakers ball.
One of the first things we teach guards, especially, when you get a step past the defender, you must shorten your dribble or cross it over to the other hand, because instinctively the defensive player, after he's beaten, he reaches around and tries to tip the ball, and that's exactly what the defender did, Reggie Evans, to Sasha.
10 on the shot clock for the Lakers. Shaman, that's his game. A little bit short that time on the handoff. And Evans out of bounds. Helped out the Lakers.
Why not just let that one go out of bounds? I mean,
yeah, that kind of sums up the frustration for George Karl and the Nuggets tonight.
I mean, Reggie, I talked about always hustling, but the shot hits the rim and it's going out of bounds. Let it go. He's stepping on the line when he touches the ball. So, violation, give it back to the Lakers in the fresh 24.
He already had 12 boards. He wanted a 13. Sasha, quick catch and shoot. Way too long. So we're almost halfway through the fourth and final 12. And the Lakers will also be 15-4 at home. We talked about taking care of business on your home floor. As Boykins gets the 3-ball. So the Lakers still up. Good margin. As Radmanovic rolls to the rack, didn't get the finger roll.
He was so concerned about avoiding contact that he lost concentration on the target.
Boykins thought about it inside. It'll be Nahara. The long 2 out to Mo Evans. Now Mo wants Radmanovic, but plays him, fill that side of the floor. So no turnovers, take care of business, and you get out of here 11 over 500. But it is over. Let's just get out of here healthy. And get ready for Dallas on Sunday. Sasha with the shot clock down. He had to. And the Lakers get a fresh shot clock. Beyond the arc from Shaman set him up.
Sasha said, I'm going to try this till I get it right.
Yeah.
Well, and you got 5 more minutes to get it right.
He's 1 for 7 tonight. Klaiza has it going across, and Roney always in the spot. He always puts a body on a body, doesn't he?
Well, Roney's trying to get double-figure rebounding here. He's got 9, and there's 4:55 to play.
And close to a double-double.
Phil Jackson says, let's talk this over a little bit. We don't want to get too raggedy here. We want to continue to run our triangle offense.
Extra miles away from ordinary. And by Grey Goose, the world's best tasting vodka.
Well, the Lakers with 4:55 to play, up 115-91. Roney smiling. He's back on the bench. His starting center, Andrew Bynum, back on the court. Aaron McKee.
Yes, veteran Aaron McKee out there is Mo Evans. He gets it over the length that just checked into the game for the first time. As they brought in Jamal Sampson, who 3 years ago played 10 games with the Lakers. Out of modern day. And it'll be a trip as Mo fell down. And a couple of free throws coming up for Diawara.
You know, earlier in this game we had Ronny Turiaf, and our Carl's Jr. Exmo shows him and the excitement with which he brings and plays with as he got the pass from Luke and went up with the dunk. Like being around Ronny.
Yeah, it's kind of contagious when you're around somebody that is that positive all the time. And he is.
8 points, 9 rebounds. Yeah, he's very effective too.
So he sits down very close to a double-double tonight off the bench. And 20 minutes of work. Andrew Bynum back out there for the Lakers as Mo Evans looked inside. Lakers will take their time. And a good opportunity for Andrew, who's had a great game tonight. Shammond Williams leaving it off. Andrew had it slide by. One of the few times where he hasn't gobbled up passes like that.
Yeah, if he catches that one, he has another dunk.
And DeMar Johnson. Well,
another young man.
Well, and he almost died in a car accident. You talk about
years ago when he was in Atlanta.
He was a lottery pick for Atlanta. He played 2 seasons with the Hawks, and then during the offseason, he almost died in a car accident. Whole year he spent in a halo. Went to the Knicks. 3rd season now with Denver, and that time Andrew did hang on. Nice dive after the pick.
Nice little bounce pass by Shammond Williams, and it came up right at the waist for Andrew. He didn't have to do anything but catch it and score.
So Shammond's got an assist to the board since coming off the bench. Klaiza on the jump stop. It's Hodge setting up Jamal Sampson, the former modern-day Monarch who only played 1 year at Cal. And started his pro career with Milwaukee before coming to the Lakers. Played for 4 teams in 4 years now. Radmanovich held up, still got there, but couldn't get it to drop.
Just didn't get it high enough on the glass.
Diawara with 3 minutes to play. So the Lakers, as Aaron McKee says, come on now, let's calm down. And it's a real veteran backcourt for the Lakers. Mo Evans. Target practice for him tonight, isn't it?
Man, not even the clock either.
He's got 12 points and 3 boards.
5 out of 10, or excuse me, 6 out of 10 from the field.
He's got 14 now. After that last bucket, Johnson for 3. Boy, I always thought he was going to be an incredible talent, and he's battled his way back, as you mentioned, 6th year out of Cincinnati. But in a game like this, you would have thought maybe he'd see minutes earlier. Interesting, he did not get on the floor.
Well, the one thing you don't do, or you can't do, I guess, is to outguess the coaches.
No, they know the rotations, and they see the guys every day in practice.
They know what they're doing. We got a timeout, even though it's just all academic now. 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go, and the Lakers have put in the OVER. Over.
The Lakers would win, didn't know it'd be a blowout like this, and an opportunity for everybody to get involved. Saturday night Pac-10 basketball. It's tomorrow night on FSN Prime. Ticket doubleheader. UCLA taking on 16th ranked Oregon, so the #1 team in the nation against number 16 and SCF. They've been on a roll. Beat Oregon, upset the Ducks at McCourt. And they'll take on Oregon State. It all starts 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 right here on the West Coast on FSN Prime Ticket. Minute 55 to play. Man, Diawara a little strong. Just a little. Well, we saw that shot by Julius Hodge, and we went away as he takes it away. And there goes Julius Hodge up against Shaban, leaving it off for Blazes dunk. And I said to you when we went away, I said, after we saw that release by Julius Hodge, I said, that makes Josh Childress look like he's got perfect textbook form. I mean, we've seen some interesting releases in the last couple of years in pro basketball.
I guess the end result is the only thing that counts. If it goes in, if it's, don't worry about it.
Whatever it takes. Shaman. And nobody was ready for that. Radmanovich on the opposite side. Hodge, boy, you talk about skid marks. Find him up ahead. Mo will catch up to it. And will he ever?
Talk about his explosion. That pass was headed out of bounds, and he put on the afterburners to just chase that one down, and then under control, easy deuce.
So the biggest lead was 28 for the Lakers. I think I put it away about 10 minutes left at 27. They lead now by 23. Final minute.
Thank goodness.
Glad you said it. Lakers had to have it, though, with Dallas on the horizon. Shot clock all the way down. Did beat the shot clock. On its way back. Thought Diawara would go back up with it.
Use the clock.
And Kleza with the two-hander. Linas Kleza, Lithuanian, played at Mizzou. His second season, 10-9 in 22 minutes of play. Lakers have to take one more shot, and then it's over. And the season high, 11 games over the 500 mark. Finally got to 10 last night. So the second of a back-to-back, Aaron McKee wanted to find a teammate. Hodge instead. And the trailer is DeMar Johnson. So got him across the line. Best thing about it, a W and everybody leaves healthy.
That's key. That's the key. Everybody leaving healthy on both sides. Anytime you have a game where it can go through its completion and nobody gets injured, it's a success.
Yeah, Andrew Bynum, our Gatorade player of the game, and Stu, aggressive from the outset, especially at the defensive end.
Well, I said from the beginning of the year, that's where I thought his biggest attribute would be for this team is on the defensive end. With his length and his ability to change shots, that would be a major, major asset.
Yeah, I love the 6 blocks and changing at least another half dozen or more. So a big 9 on the double-double for Drew. And the Lakers cruise control of the second half, blowing out the Denver Nuggets and winning by the final score of 123-104.